Welcome to the Raven's Call. I'm Eric Wordweaver Shervin, Goalie of the Ridgar Folk here in East Texas. False kinship. I don't know if you're familiar with the term, but there have been a number of good writings done on this in the heathen world today, and I just wanted to bring this out to the YouTube world a little bit, because I know some people don't spend time sitting and reading on the internet. You should. There's some really good stuff out there. This subject is one that's been covered a lot, but it's something that I wanted to bring forward because it plays into a number of different roles in Heathenry Today. Okay? The concept of false kinship is that we associate relationships where none exist. Specifically, the way you're going to see this in the modern world is with people that refer to each other as brother or sister, even though they have no ties whatsoever. Now, if you watched my video on Innengard versus Heathengard, you'll know that I fully acknowledge that we call people that we're not related to brother and sister all the time. I do personally. For me, my Innengard are my brothers and sisters. We don't have to be blood related to be brother-sister. However, the idea of false kinship isn't about blood relation. It isn't about specific ties like that. It's about the absence of ties. What we see is, especially on the internet, you'll jump onto these big pages, and I'm not going to name any because why? You'll jump onto these pages, and these people will all enter with, "Hail brother, hail sister, how are you doing?" And it just grates on my nerves. And you'll see on a lot of these pages, a lot of the hardcore recons, a lot of just the more seasoned heathens that are just tired of it jump on there and counter it. Me, I just let it slide. I let it roll because honestly, a little comment there isn't going to come off as anything but trollish. So instead, we educate. We do what we can. So this is the deal, okay? Brother and sister, calling each other brother and sister, outside of the context of tribe, Innengard, anything like that, does a number of things. One, it dilutes the term, because brother and sister needs to mean something. It needs to carry the weight of family. If you call everybody brother and sister, then when you call your Innengard brother and sister, it doesn't mean the same thing. We're not family. Any number of you people watching this. Now, admittedly, there are a few that will, because there are a few people that watch these videos that I do consider brothers and sisters. These are my Innengard. These are people that are close to me, that are tight like that. There are everybody else. I'm sorry, we're not brother and sister. That's just not how it works. The concept that all heathens are brothers and sisters is just off. It's wrong. And I'm one of those guys that's now saying you're doing it wrong. I tend to hate those guys. But this is an instance wherein there's a good psychological reason for it. The way the mind works, we base value on words in a number of different ways. One of the ways is the rarity and scarcity with which we use the word. For instance, take the word love, okay? There are a number of different levels of love, as we all know. You can say that, I love this. I love this new tripod that I have for my camera. I love my new microphone, which I do. I love my new microphone. It's awesome. But this isn't the same kind of love as to look at a person and say, "I love you." All right? That takes on a whole different weight. If you tell everybody you love them, then it loses that weight. Because when you tell somebody that you actually love, that you love them, that's not special anymore. That's not unique at that point. It's just something you do. It's something you say. So it loses its weight. We dilute the term. And so brother and sister is very much this way. If we call everyone brother and sister, then we dilute the term. We water it down so that it doesn't mean what it's supposed to mean. It doesn't carry the weight that it's supposed to. Okay? So that's one thing. The second thing is that it assumes ties where none exist. And this can be extremely insulting in a lot of ways. For instance, someone who assumes that they can call me brother, you haven't earned that right. The ones that I call brother and sister have earned that through our deeds, our time, our shared weird. They have proven their worth to me, and I know them as brother and sister. I know them as family. Now, I have genuine blood brothers that are my brothers through and through. We have that relationship. We grew up, and we're not just related by blood. We are genuinely best friends. Not everybody's got that. I know I was lucky in that respect to have absolutely awesome brothers. So shout out to Bradley and Kirkland. You guys are awesome. But I've also got people that I call a brother. I've got my tribesmen that I call brother. I've got near and dear friends that I call brother. I've got individuals that I call sister as well. These are few and far between, and I genuinely have ties to them. I genuinely have shared weird with these people, and they are family to me. Using that term outside of that context creates a false sense of relationship. Okay? Heathens are not all related. I don't care what you say. I don't have any ties whatsoever to Joe Blow Heathen up in New England, who I've never met before. We have never shared weird. We've never done anything together. We've never met any of this. He's nothing to me. He is Utgard. He's in the outer yard, and he's no relation to me whatsoever. I have people that are non-heathens that are near and dear to me that I still call brother and sister. So it's not about being heathen, all right? If you look back to the arch-heathen times, we do not all come from one single tribe. And even if you were to go back genetically to the initial point of the genetic mutation that led to humanity, let's be real, there's no actual relationship there, all right? At that point, everybody on the planet is related, and it's... Come on, seriously? So, we're not related. We're not tied that way. If you haven't spent the time to build a relationship with someone, then you haven't earned the right to call them family. Now, one of the things that I see this playing into, and this is another area that I wanted to touch on, is touchy subject, but here we go. The racial side of things, all right? Just because we may share a skin color does not mean we have any ties whatsoever to one another. It does not mean that we have got any relation. It doesn't. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I can know a white guy can walk past me on the street, and I have less in common with him than I do someone of another race that I actually interact with and that I actually spend time with. That there's nothing there. There is no relation there. Relations are about relationships. That's what kinship is about. It's about relationships. And I come back to this in almost every one of my videos. Heathenry is a folkway of relationships. It's our relationship to the gods and goddesses, our relationship to the ancestors, our relationship to the Vatir, and our relationship to each other. Actual, hard relationships. Where the work is done, where we share weird, we share frith. That's where the meat and potatoes is. That's where relationships are. It's not in some arbitrary thing that is a happenstance of genetics. It means nothing. So, this is a thing that we genuinely all need to look at. Everybody that watches this video, everybody that's out there on the internet, think about it. Look at it when you're talking to people. When you call everybody brother and sister, what are you really doing? You're diluting the term. You're not addressing actual brothers and sisters, whether they be brother and sister of tribe or blood or whatever it may be. You're diluting the term. Use the term where it's meant to be used so that it carries the weight and it carries the emotion that it's intended to carry. When I look at my tribe brother and I call him brother, he knows what that means, because I don't use that term for anybody else. I don't call random people on the street brother. What's going on, brother? What's up, brother? Hey, bro, how's it going? None of that, all right? We're not brositru, okay? Now, I know that's a touchy term on the internet, but this is the thing. When you walk in and you call everybody bro, what does that mean? It means nothing. And then when you actually try to call someone brother, it means nothing to them because they see you call everyone brother. It doesn't carry the weight. Now, unfortunately, somewhere in the, I guess, late 90s, mid to late 90s, brother came on as kind of a suffix, a catch-all term for anybody. You just call anybody brother. What's up, brother? How's it going? This doesn't work. This doesn't carry over. And the idea that all heathens are brothers and sisters, it doesn't carry either. Now, the best I can tell on that, and this isn't research, so don't go into that realm, but the best I can tell is it seems to be baggage from a Judeo-Christian background, wherein through that monotheistic system, everyone is a child of their deity, and therefore are brothers and sisters within, the tribe of their god, etc., etc., etc. Heathenry doesn't work that way. Our gods did not birth us. Our gods created us. Our gods forged us from the sticks, the Ashkenembla, and then gave form to humanity. Sure, absolutely. I see that somewhat as metaphorical for evolution. You can check my video on science and heathenry to see kind of where I go with that, where my mind is on that. But essentially, heathens were never set up as a singular tribe. We don't go back to some specific person that is all of our forebear and this is who we go to. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Even if it did, like for instance, I can track my lineage back to the Fairhair dynasty, Harold Fairhair. And that's through the work of my great uncle Melvin, who I miss him. He was awesome. I really wish I could have gotten to talk to him a little bit more about some of that, but he did some awesome research and he tracked it back. It was neat. It was cool. It means nothing in the long run, other than the fact that I've got some really awesome people in my ancestry. That does not mean that I have any ties to anybody else who's necessarily also tied to the Fairhair dynasty, because there's a lot of us. At this point in time, we've splintered out throughout the world to such an extent that you can find degrees of relation between almost anybody. That doesn't give you the right to call anybody brother or sister. You have to earn that right through deed and action. You have to earn that right through interaction. Okay, I've got cousins all across the U.S. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to call them cousin if I don't have an actual relationship with them. I'm not going to go, hey, what's up, cousin? How's it going? Not if I don't have any interactions with them. I'm going to call them by their name, because ultimately speaking, even though we have some blood relation that's not that distant, a couple of generations back, we have no relationship. That's where it's at. Value those relationships. Covet them. Protect them. And protect the terminology that you use, because it is a title. Just like any title that you would give to someone within your tribe, that's an honorific. If you want to call someone chieftain, they have to earn that right. They have to earn that title. You're not going to call someone chieftain who hasn't earned that right. For instance, I go by the title of Godi. This is something I've earned within my people. Now, other people may challenge that from the outside. That's fine. It's got nothing to do with y'all. It's about my relationship with my tribe and where I am with my tribe. It's an honorific from within my tribe. And that's all that really matters in that respect, because those are the people with whom I have the relationship. Those are the people to whom I have the obligation and the responsibility. There's a lot that goes into that honorific, into that title. Just like my jarls that are under me within my tribe, there's a relationship, a reciprocal relationship and responsibility that has to take place with that. Same thing with anybody that I call brother. There is a relationship here, and there is a reciprocal responsibility to one another. This is an ongoing thing that I see on the internet all the time. And this is something that people have written about. I know some very good heathens that have put up some very good articles. I encourage you, go out and read those things. Don't just listen to YouTube videos. I mean, by all means, listen to my YouTube videos, but don't just listen to those. Get out there and look into some of the very good reasons why false kinship can be damaging in the long run. You weaken the value of these relationships, and then that weakens the value of the relationship that you have within your tribe. And doing so can damage the weird of your own tribe. It seems like a minute thing, but the psychology of words is very, very real. It's very strong. The words we use mean something, and in order to mean something, they have to be used right. So, take that for what it is, go with it where you will, but my advice is genuinely think about the relationships that you hold, genuinely think about who you call brother and sister, because it needs to mean something. Otherwise, what are you telling the people that you genuinely feel are brother and sister? You know, you've got this guy that you've spent years in the trenches with, that you've just been through everything with, and they are, by all intents and purposes, your brother, even though you've never been related in any kind of way, by marriage or by blood or whatever. Even though they may not legally be a brother, they've earned that title from you. And when you call someone else by their title that hasn't earned that hasn't done the work, that hasn't built the relationship with you that they have, what does that tell them about how you value that relationship? If you want brother to mean something, call the right person brother and mean it. Family is family. Race does not mean family. Heathenry does not mean family. Your tribe means family. Your in-guard means family. Use the terms where they're meant to be used. You'll find you catch a lot less flack online if you do. And in the long run, where the real thing is, you will find that it will increase your value in the term, and thusly will increase the value you place in that relationship. It'll mean more to you psychologically than if you use it just willy-nilly. Okay? Think it out. Use it where it's supposed to be used. Mean it. And I think you'll turn out just fine. All right. Rant over. If you guys liked the video today, or if you just kind of got a kick out of seeing me go off on a little rant, give a like, give us a subscribe, or shoot us a comment down in the comment section. There's Word Weaver Productions on Facebook. It's an open group. Feel free to join in. It's where I post all the videos. I keep some conversation going on the side. Little things here and there, getting input on things like new microphone, things like that. So hit it up, get in with the community, and let's see what we can do to help each other grow and learn. Hail, and have a good day.